Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Junix.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
Good.
We're missing Miss Abiola today.
Yes.
Good morning, Rufai.
Hi, how are you, Audrey?
Good, thank you.
You're looking wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for all the compliments.
Yeah, don't worry.
Tudun
is in town. She has not gone to Ukraine.
No, she's not going to Ukraine. You're the only one I sent to Ukraine. I don't know why you're still here. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot alleged on Wednesday that former President Donald Trump and John Eastman, a right-wing lawyer, were part of a criminal conspiracy to overturn the 2020 presidential election. In Ukraine, major cities suffered devastating damage on Wednesday after more than 15 hours of continuous bombardment by Russian forces. City officials in Mariupol and Kharkiv described the bombardments as full-scale genocide. In Nigeria, the first set of flights by Air Peace Airlines to evacuate citizens stranded as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war departed in the early hours of Thursday after President Muhammadu Buhari approved the sum of $8.5 million for the evacuation of 5,000 Nigerians. In Germany, the government agreed on Wednesday to pay the sum of $720 million to provide home care and supportive services for frail and vulnerable Holocaust survivors. According to the organization that handles claims for the Jews who suffered under the Nazis, the money will be distributed to more than 300 social welfare organizations globally. Other sports. Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich has confirmed his intention to sell English club Chelsea. The billionaire, whose fortune has fueled Chelsea's collection of 17 major trophies since he took control in July 2003, announced that all net proceeds from the sale will be donated to victims of the war in Ukraine. Finally, under entertainment, Servant of the People, a 2015 Ukrainian television series featuring President Vladimir Zelensky, has gained popularity as countries are snapping up the rights to the series. Zelensky, a former actor and comedian, played a high school teacher propelled to the presidency after a student's video of him denouncing official corruption in Ukraine went viral. The series was a hit in Ukraine, where it ran for 3 seasons and was made into a movie.
Надо быть таким идиотом. Простите, я не сдержал.
Well, let's begin what's trending with reactions to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who on Tuesday declared that he has the mental and physical energy to serve Nigerians as their president. The politician also said his passion for the country is a driving force for seeking the People's Democratic Party's ticket for office of the president. Atiku stated this during a meeting with the party's House of Representatives Minority Caucus in Abuja, where he sought their support. Let's take a listen before we come back for a reaction.
I recognize your immense influence in our great party, and my respect for you is beyond measure. That's why I chose you to be among the first set of people that I will be meeting to personally declare my intention to contest for the president of Nigeria in the 2023 elections. Therefore, I humbly present myself to you and seek your support to win our party's presidential ticket. I will give my best and work with the politicians and the great resource people in our party. I have the mental and physical energy to serve this country to the fullest. Above all, it is my passion for the progress of this country that drives my quest for the presidency of this country.
All right, well, let's take a tweet from Clive, who wrote, "But you're not geographically fit to serve. Thanks for offering to serve,
But we want to try some other locations. Dr. Abati, I'm coming to you with this story. I mean, it's great. He has now declared, like you said, it's really, really close. It's time for him to declare. But it just shows that, there's no respect for everyone calling for, the presidential ticket to be zoned to the South. It does appear, as people have said, that the PDP might face massive defection if, the party does not zone the ticket to the South.
Well, we don't know yet whether the leaders of the PDP will change their mind or not. You recall that we had 2 PDP leaders on this program. We had Elder, okay, his name escapes me now. We had Chief Body George, and we also had, another leader of the party on this program.
Emmanuel Ogidi.
Elder Emmanuel Ogidi, thank you. We had him on this program, and the 2 of them said at the point at which the PDP said, there will be a level playing field, that the party will continue to consult, and at the end of the day, the party will take a decision. The PDP, having seen that the rival party, the APC, has decided more or less to zone the presidency to the South, may still take a decision one way or the other. But the dynamics that we have seen in the PDP is that there are persons from everywhere within the party. We just spoke to Alhaji Muhammad Ayatudin, who is also interested. And there are others. Names have been mentioned from different parts of the country. That's the first leg of it. So that would determine whether, Vice President Atiku Abubakar or any other person from the northern part will be considered geographically fit or not, whatever that means. Okay. That's one. 2, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar met with the minority caucus of the PDP in the House of Representatives. And many of the persons who have shown interest, they are all consulting. I mean, Bashorun Dele Mamadou is also all over the country. Yesterday he met with Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. He's been going around. So all of them are going around. They are consulting. And I think that is part of the political process. The minority caucus of the PDP, of course, is important. Now, another thing to note is that, Vice President Atiku Abubakar says that he's mentally fit, he's physically fit. So, and when we were interviewing Alhaji Muhammad Ayatudin, we had asked him that, are you physically fit? Because that has become an issue. And although physical fitness is not part of Section 131, Section 106, Section 142, Section 187, all those sections of the 1999 Constitution dealing with qualification for office. But mental fitness is part of the requirement. Maybe we should start organizing weightlifting competitions for persons who want to be president, but that's...
I thought it was cute, the physically fit part was...
That's on the lighter side.
But the mentally fit part is very important.
We just need people who are fit, people who are capable. I don't have a problem with the consultations because all those people are also stakeholders in the game.
Absolutely, Rufai.
So it's a big game of political horse trading. Yes. Both parties are looking at each other. I'm sure the PDP is looking at the APC because the APC has come out and you can see the body language. Probably they will be zoning. And I say the word probably. They will be zoning the presidential ticket to the South. But the South is up in the air. Some are saying specifically Southeast. Some are saying Southwest. All right? We don't know where they're going to go. Only time will tell. Let's even get through their convention in the first place. Yeah. So let's look forward to that convention, 26th of March, and see how that pans out. Some groups are already saying, I support the Southeast presidency. So take, for instance, I think the big leader in the Afenifere, Payo Adebanjo, was talking about Southeast presidency and, his support for it, in the spirit of fairness and all of that. The PDP, too, is doing their thing. But I see there's a big division in the PDP. And I keep referring to that meeting Governor Ngwanyo Venugu had with some Southern governors, where they came and said, okay, we're going to zone this to the South. And all of a sudden, quickly, that was reversed. The PDP said, no, we're opening it up for everybody nationally. Might zoning be the big albatross for the PDP? Only time will tell, but let's be careful. Most importantly, I think in all of this, I think we should go one step further, and if we can put it as a constitutional operation, mandate every presidential candidate in Nigeria to declare a comprehensive health report. Let's see the state of their health. It's not about fitness. It's not about mental fitness. It's not about any. let's see the state of their health like it's done in other parts of the world. So we know what we're dealing with. A man can be physically fit, he can run a mile, but he might have a terminal illness. So let us see for ourselves. And Nigerians have a right to know. This is the same country that we had a president that was away on medical leave for the better part of a year.
Many days? Yeah, many days. Well.
And we have a right to know. And I keep saying that. We've also had a president that died in office that I remember somebody famously called and said, they said you collapsed during a campaign tour. Is it true? And the person said, no, I'm physically fit. And we know how that situation went. Until he finally passed. We don't want any of that any longer in this country. I don't know how we can do it. We can push it out there. Every presidential candidate, for the fact you want to lead this country, apart from declaration and telling us how you made your money, also tell us the state of your health. Independent medical report.
Well, all right. Well said, Rufai. We'll take another story. Following the rejection of bills seeking to promote better female representation in governance by lawmakers, over 229 civil society organizations on Wednesday condemned and criticized the lawmakers for denying women the opportunity of inclusion and demanded that the lawmakers reconsider the bills, while some women staged a protest at the National Assembly over the bill's rejection as they accused the lawmakers of being biased against women.
It is inferiority complex. It is because they are not sure of themselves. It is because they believe if a woman should come on board, we will not be able to do what we want to do. They feel intimidated by women. That's just what happened. And that is what has been happening. Since we know the men are our enemies, let us declare them as our enemies. And there are ways you fight your enemies.
Okay, plenty ways to fight our enemies. I mean, this has caused a lot of outrage amongst many women. I mean, it is so appalling. I don't even know where to begin. For me, it's a complete disgrace, Rufai.
Yes.
This is a complete disgrace.
Yes. And I'm with our lovely mothers, sisters, friends on this. This is barbaric for the Nigeria of today. I am ashamed of our lawmakers. And like I said yesterday, please, we would like to see those lawmakers that didn't vote in favor of these bills. We'd like to see them. Print out their names. Let's know how people voted. The group was out there protesting yesterday. The protest should continue. They should also try to table the matter by every means possible. We can't have a country where a woman will marry a man and she can't confer citizenship on that man. So is it that we're just turned women into second-class citizens?
At this
And apart from that, for political inclusion, we should not forget, for those that are making all sorts of arguments, that they should come to the table, fight their own fight, we should not also forget that economic power is skewed. And this is because of cultural practices hitherto. This is the same country that somebody said the place of a woman is in the other room. This is in the same country that in some cultures, people prefer the education of a man over that of a woman because they'll say, he will go to her husband's house. So you want to give a level playing field where the field is not level in the first place? A lot of women don't even get education. And that's why this bill is to seek a lot of redress to the injustices done to women. And please, women out there, don't relent, keep fighting. I always quote the suffragettes when they started fighting for suffrage of women. At some points, too, in the world, women were not allowed to vote. And women today are one of the biggest voting blocs in this country. But they were not allowed to vote. But women fought for it, the suffragettes movement.
Absolutely.
So they should fight for this.
Yeah, it is fair to say.
They should continue.
Lawmakers have no respect for the women.
I don't see why anybody should be surprised. What has been confirmed is that there's bias against women, not just in the National Assembly, but in the general Nigerian society. What has been confirmed is that there is patriarchy, dominant, patriarchy. What has been confirmed is that, look, there's no such thing as equality or equity in terms of gender, relations in Nigeria. What has been confirmed is that Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution is observed more in the breach than in actuality. It is not the same National Assembly where a lawmaker took his, is it 3 or 4
Yes,
wives
we
there,
saw that.
and asked them to stand up one after the other. And he turned to his colleagues, said, look, we sit here, we discuss bills. Look, I have these 4 women that I'm taking care of.
Can you imagine?
And that I'm a man. I'm a very capable lawmaker. And the wives also stood up to display themselves on the floor of the National Assembly. So, do we expect that such a National Assembly will empower women? It is the same National Assembly, the same man that went to parade his wives like commodities, stood up and announced that one of his wives had just given birth, and that's child number 28. And that, in fact, the way he was feeling at that particular moment, he would produce 2 more by 2023. And that in 2023, if he achieved that target, then the federal government of Nigeria should declare his house a polling booth because of his contribution to the population of Nigeria. This is not the same National Assembly where a lawmaker married a girl, an underage girl, from outside the country, and went onto the floor of the National Assembly to boast about it, to say this is a sign of virility, something that is a crime under the criminal code, So this is where we are. And if you look at all those resolutions that they voted against, all those motions they voted against, the right of a woman to have a foreign spouse become a Nigerian citizen, 35% representation in political parties, 35% representation in positions, and all of those things that would rather empower the rights of, empower women generally. So what we find is that Nigeria has just paid lip service over the years to the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. It means that the battle has not ended. And the protest by the 229 civil society organizations, I think is useful. I hope that the state houses of assembly will take note of it. We'll need about 2/3 of those state houses of assembly to reverse the position of the National Assembly. The only unfortunate thing is that with regard to these gender issues, those gender issues that have been rejected by the National Assembly, they are already dead right at the level of the National Assembly, because the only resolutions that can go to the state houses of assembly are those motions that were accepted by both chambers. So it's still a long way with regard to women empowerment in Nigeria, and you'll find the political parties still paying lip service to women empowerment. So,
absolutely.
But the women can be sure that there are men like us who are women-friendly and who will always defend the interests of Rufai, why are you looking at me?
Thank you very much.
If I say I'm women-friendly, no, I mean
and he is too, I know that for sure. Yes, well done, both of you.
Yes, you are.
I mean, we cannot be reduced to the role of just voters. It needs to be revisited immediately.
And please,
really
tell them, State House of Assembly, most of the states should please domesticate the child's rights law. Please.
Absolutely.
They should, please.
Needs to be done. Let's take another story. A video showing a group of young men engaged in a fight at a fuel station where there was a queue amid the intense fuel scarcity experienced by many Nigerians has made the rounds on social media, while a Twitter user who goes by the name Oba Jero posted the video with the caption, "Horrors of Fuel Scarcity." Let's take a look. Unfortunately, this is what we experience. Let's take this tweet from Oba, who wrote, "In a country that has crude oil in abundance and practically a bit of every natural resource any nation needs to survive, Nigeria can't even refine her own crude oil, corruption in high places, weaponized poverty, and illiteracy everywhere. It is well with your soul, Nigeria." This is so sad. I mean, this apparently happened somewhere in Lagos, and it was such a scary video. I had to just completely re-edit it. But at this point, this is not what we should be facing. The horrors of fuel scarcity, as Oba stated, it is really real at this point. Dr. Bati.
Well, the NNPC had promised that in a matter of weeks, The scarcity that resulted as a result of the importation by 4 major dealers of specification fuel will be resolved. But we've seen that, look, there are challenges. And indeed, the market has pointed that out, that they will need first to clean out their tanks, underground tanks, and that will take a little time. So that's the price we're paying. But at that time, the NNPC brought in about 1 million, or was it 1 trillion liters of fuel. And we were told that another 2.3 trillion liters of fuel will be coming in, but that has not happened quickly. So the anguish continues, the agony continues, the confusion at the fuel stations continue. But I guess, all of this would be resolved in good time. But unfortunately, it's we the people that have had to make the sacrifice.
All right.
But I hope we get over it.
I mean, I don't understand how the NNPC says everything is all right, but it's not always all right on the streets of Lagos.
Really horrible. We shall take our final story. A video showing an officer of the Nigerian police force carrying a plate of food for a woman, presumably of higher class, at a party has gone viral. The video has generated reactions from many Nigerians who condemn the act as disgraceful. Let's take a look at the video before we come back for a discussion. This is actually not funny, Rufai. I know you're cracking up. But I guess the woman has come out to say that the plate was not for her, that it was for the police officer. But this is what we see all the time.
Is it today? You see, I don't know the spirit of big manism. The way we've lost a lot of things as a nation that we need to backtrack on. Oji, this is small. I've seen police officers washing plates with uniform. The woman told him, sat down in the house, "Go, help me go and quickly wash that plate." Police officer in uniform, short sleeve, washing plate with his beret and everything.
No, this is
That's how bad we have denigrated our police force.
Yes.
And that's why we keep saying, isn't it going to get a time where we have to withdraw our police from these VIPs? Because we have about 400,000 police officers. Close to half of them stay with VIPs, do domestic duty sometimes, and you don't have enough police to police the country.
Right.
Okay.
And we don't want state police.
Well, there's something called VIP protection, and there's a department in all the security agencies assigned to do that. Okay, the abuse is there, but it's part of their work. Okay, and when you have police protection, sometimes some of these officers they get so close, so familiar with the person they are working for, and they do other things that are not part of their work. The problem here, Officer Yahaya Abubakar, Corporal Abubakar, who has been summoned by the police headquarters, is that what he did is unprofessional.
Completely.
Now, even if he wanted to help his madam to carry a plate of food, he needed to remove his cap. Okay? The crest. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You cannot use the Nigerian crest or the crest of the Nigerian police force to carry food. Like an official at a mama put to joint. That is where the problem is.
Yes.
Okay, and that I think will be addressed.
Yeah.
So maybe it will be sent for training.
Yeah.
And maybe they should take a look at it. And the ambassador, Nemota Akambi, who is chairperson of the secondary school commission, I said, no, the plate is not meant for her.
It's not hers,
okay, we expect her to say that because I was looking at the quantity of food and I was wondering whoever is going to eat it,
that tiny
does
woman.
the person have a drum in his or her stomach? Okay, so it's about professionalism. It's about ethics.
Absolutely. Thank you
very
so much. Thank you. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.